Hello and welcome back to my garden here at the Hunter's Tryst in Edinburgh. About a week ago we had some lovely weather, and when I looked outside the garden looked really very autumnal, but when I looked more closely there were some quite vivid patches of colour. So I went outside with my camera and took quite a few photos so that I could show you these little patches of colour and encourage you to go and look for the same in your garden. However, within a few days we had some brutal cold weather, some heavy snow, well, heavy for Edinburgh anyway, and all of a sudden these bright colours had disappeared. But just as I would expect with Edinburgh, the following day the snow was gone again. And it's interesting to see how many of the plants have kept their bright colours despite the snow and the cold, and how many of them have just bitten the dust, really. Tosh chose not to go out on the snowy days, and really, who can blame him? It's not weather for going out, it's weather for staying in cosy and keeping warm till the next nice day. However, he's here beside me to say hello to you and to perhaps help me, who knows. So while he's keeping nice and warm in here, why don't you cozy up in the warmth and just enjoy the next few minutes with me in my garden. As you can see, the garden still has lots of colour in it, but it's mostly the autumnal shades of green and yellow and gold. And very beautiful it looks too. But we see all the golds and yellows because they're the colour of the leaves that are dying. So they won't be with us for very much longer. This first flash of eye-catching colour comes from the Hesperantha coccinea, or its common name is the Kaffir lily. And it doesn't even start flowering until late October or into November, so a wonderfully valuable plant at this time of year. There are two climbing roses over this arch. They're called Summer Wine, and this is the second flush of flower. They've already been covered with flower in June and July, and after quite a severe cutting back, this is the second crop of roses, and aren't they gorgeous? And here's one of my many hydrangeas. In the summer, when it flowers most profusely, the colours are much cleaner and brighter, but as autumn comes they get a little bit muddied and a little bit more varied, which is beautiful in its own right. But once the frosts and the snow came, these flowers changed very significantly, as you will see. And another quick change. This is my favourite, Cornus Midwinter Fire, but once it loses its leaves, it takes on such a different appearance. And again, isn't it beautiful? I moved these little fuchsias in the summer because they weren't in a good place, and this is really their first flowering. I don't know how long they'll keep on flowering, but they're lovely just now. This is another of my winter stalwarts. The flowers are just beginning to come out, but one of their big advantages is that they smell beautiful. And here's another of my winter favourites. This is winter jasmine. And look at those bright, bright yellow flowers. They'll stay on the plant all winter. Winter jasmine is a real toughie. It survived the workmen who were working on my house very well indeed. And look, it's even come through smiling after the snow. The newest leaves on this Photinia Pink Crispy are pink, and they provide an all-year-round interest in the garden. Although this Acer is deciduous and therefore has no winter colour, it certainly provides quite a splash through the autumn. The last of my winter stars is the Viburnum Bodnantens. It doesn't look much really, but when you draw close to them, the perfume coming from them is divine. Just a couple of days between the photos you saw at the beginning of the video and this photo now. Certainly a lot of the bright autumn colours have gone, or they've been hidden temporarily. Roll on next summer. thank you very much for joining me here in my garden, or to be more accurate, in my nice warm conservatory. It's been lovely to have you visit again, and I hope I'll see you again before too long. Bye-bye. But later on, when we were checking out the video on the screen, he couldn't take his eyes off his alter ego there.